VS Code environment and the GPT 4.0 on my screen, as you can see. So I've created a little calculator, but it's all in the terminal. Now, this was all created within GPT-4o, but I want to get an actual graphical user interface for it. So usually you can use tkinter. I'll tell it, create me a user interface so I can actually see a calculator from my output.
Okay, can we give it a try? Oh, so that means essentially you don't have to copy paste it anymore, right? It just directly infuses it?
With GPT, you still
Yeah.
have to copy and paste it,
Oh,
but it's going
okay.
to take all the context.
Oh, I see. So it analyzes the code. You don't have to copy back and forth that part,
Yeah.
I guess. Would that work with a project that already has been started? Because I think you started this one in that conversation, right?
hmm I started it in the conversation. If it's already started and you create a new chat, it'll know
Mm.
because you
Okay,
can tell it what's the name of the actual of the files and stuff like that.
got it.
So essentially what this is now it can read your context from the
Hmm.
files. But when it comes to actually implementing it line by line, it's not going to do that just yet. I think
Okay,
to be able to do that, the entire GPT-4o would have to be a IDE, which it isn't yet. For now, it's just a chat application. But if they were to actually mimic what Cursor is doing, I think that the best way to go about it would to be to create an IDE version of ChatGPT,
sorry, what
which,
does IDE stand for? Development
sorry,
environment
it's
something?
an integrated development environment. That's
Okay.
VS Code or anything that you use the code. So Xcode,
Oh,
VS
okay, got
Code,
it. So it's standalone.
NetBeans, yeah,
Gotcha.
basically this. All right, so it's finished generating it with the context that we had in here.
Hmm.
And
Oh, so
I'll
you
run
just
it.
replace everything. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And it created a basic calculator.
Okay. How's the
Let's say I
speed
want to add it.
compared between
The speed,
ChatGPT and the other one, Cursor?
I think it's when it comes to context retrieval, maybe GPT has got the upper hand on it because it can read your actual files, but so can Cursor. So it's probably very minimal
Hmm.
the speed that it takes to actually retrieve the context. But to generate the files and then to actually implement it, if you have a large code base, you're better off using Cursor, in my opinion.
Got it.
Like over here, I have to copy that all into my file. And
Right.
if someone doesn't know what they're doing, they might not be able to understand what it generated. So
Right, right, right.
that will
And
create
so
errors. And
did you prepare something like this in Cursor as well so we could see how that would differ, or do you have
so
something
in
prepared in
Cursor,
Cursor?
I actually don't have to prepare anything. I can literally tell it,
Okay.
create me a calculator. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But again, human error is a big error in code, but
Yeah.
now a lot much less so because we have these very good integrated development environments that can just detect if there's a missing bracket or anything like that. So,
Hmm.
okay, and that's the entire calculator generated. And let's run it. Interesting. It's not giving me anything to run.
Hmm. Well,
Again, you
maybe
have to
you
be
can ask
very
it now to create a
precise.
user interface. Yeah, because this one didn't give you anything to run either, right?
It did. It gave me a terminal
Oh, it did. Okay.
calculator,
Gotcha. Let's see
but
what's.
that's probably my error with the prompts. But it's going
Yeah,
to
I want to see how
quickly.
it actually integrates. When is it replacing? I forgot. Is it replacing the code itself, or you have to?
It replaces certain lines and it adds new ones.
Oh,
If it's
okay, got it.
replaced
So,
one, you'll see green, and if it
got it.
deleted some, you'll see red.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's
And
what
you
I
can
wanted
choose
to
to
know.
accept it or reject it. If you reject
Hmm.
it, then you
Just gonna
can be
try
like,
again.
okay, this was a terrible output, generate something better.
Yeah.
But let's test this out. I mean, 100 lines in just a few seconds, that's quite decent.
Yeah, if something comes out at the other end, seems to have some problem.
I think that's because I didn't quit my previous environment. That's why. There we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Oops.
I've been playing around with Comfy UI, which is basically like a software, I guess, or an environment where you can generate your own images. Oh, there you go. This is what it came up with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, it was my fault before
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because.
Okay, so the main difference that I see is just a little bit user friendly, right? Because it's more integrated. Um, I like that you can, you don't have to brute force copy paste. Like that doesn't make sense because maybe you don't have to
Brute force
replace
copy
all of
pasting
it.
is quite redundant in my opinion with coding because you'll copy it, maybe you'll miss a line, and then
Right,
something's
right.
going to go wrong in your code, and you're not going to know. Especially if you don't have much experience, it's really going to mess things up.
Yeah. So I guess in the current state, you would still favor this one, right? Cursor.
In my opinion, Cursor is way ahead of GPT. But
Hmm.
it's good that GPT added that addition because
Right.
currently it's pretty much Cursor only that has such good functionality. I'm not looking back on using VS Code with Copilot because I do use Copilot here. And Copilot's essentially allowing me to edit inline stuff. So if I want to generate, let's say, see, it predicts what I want to do. If
Right.
I want to be like generate a for loop, it's gonna give me a for loop.
Oh, okay. What is
You
that?
just have to
A for loop?
just a basic for loop.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, see, I don't even know what that is. A loop of four numbers.
Yeah. So it works better if you actually do it with purpose and meaning, but
Gotcha.
just
Gotcha. All right.
for me, it's cursor all the way.
Got
Uh,
it.
it's got code base in it. You can even do it without the entire code base. So when you've got a code base with multiple files, you're gonna have to do something like at code base, and then it has the entire context of all the files here that would be present. You
Got
can't really uh, well, it will read certain files if you don't do it, but if you really want to make sure that the entire code base is in the context of your prompt, you need to do that.
it.
But if
Right.
you also want to make specific files readable, you say add files or folders and just click.
Okay. Well, so what I'm